mubyeyi urifuza guteganyiriza umwana wawe ejo heza, gana mu mashuri ya apejerwa ariyo Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI hamwe na Emeru Intwari. Muri Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI tubafitiye amashami akurikira: Culinary Art cyangwa se ibijyanye n'ubutetsi, hari level 1, level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Food and Beverage Services tubafitiye level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Tubafitiye kandi Accounting cyangwa se ibaruramari level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Tubafitiye n'ubukanishi bw'amamodoka mu byiciro bikurikira: Auto Engine Technology level 3, Auto Transmission and Control System Technology level 4, Automobile Transmission and Control System Technology level 5. Tubafitiye n'ubwubatsi Masonry level ya 3, level ya 4 ndetse na level ya 5. Tubafitiye Tourism ubukerarugendo level ya 3, iya 4 ndetse n'iya 5. Turabibutsa ko tubafitiye n'icyiciro rusange Tonkome. Naho muri Emeru Intwari tubafitiye amashami y'umwaka umwe akurikira: Automotive Technology ubukanishi bw'amamodoka level ya mbere, Hairdressing ubwiza no gutunganya umusatsi level ya mbere, Tailoring ubudozi level ya mbere, Masonry ubwubatsi level ya mbere. Muri aya mashuri yombi tubafitiye abarimu b'inzobere harimo n'abaturuka hanze y'igihugu. Tubafitiye kandi n'amacumbi y'abakobwa ndetse n'ay'abahungu. Abanyeshuri bacu bakora ingendo shuri mu gihugu ndetse no hanze yacu. Tubaha umwanya wo kwimenyereza umwuga mu bigo bijyanye n'ibyo biga. Dukorera kandi graduation abanyeshuri basoje amasomo yabo. Aya mashuri aherereye mu mujyi wa Ruhango hafi ya gare. Ku bindi bisobanuro mwaduhamagara kuri 0788366219 cyangwa se 0722356668. Mwanaduhamagara kandi kuri 0788366213 cyangwa se 0788202282. Mwanadusura kuri website y'ishuri www.apejerwa.ac.rw. Umurimo ukozwe neza utuma batugirira icyizere.
My name is Rwagasana Germain, a trainer from Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI. Trade, construction, subtrade, masonry. Now we are going to share the modules called concrete technology in level 3. Now the intended topic of today is about formwork. Yesterday we have discussed a little bit about concrete steps and steel bars work and steel bar courses. So now we are going to see, to seems to combine together both of them, and we try to analyze about formwork design and requirements. Now let's start with concrete. What is it really, concrete? The concrete is a mixture of aggregates plus binder plus water plus sometimes admixtures. Really, what is it? Aggregate. Let's come back on aggregates. The aggregates these are materials to be used in the concrete just to provide the desired volume. Types of aggregates. We find out that it is what we call sand, gravel, and crushed stone. Also, this aggregate should fulfill the requirements in order to find the concrete which is good compared to what we want. To make the sand should be, it is some requirements of good sand. In the construction, often you are using the sand from the river. Why do we prefer this kind of sand from the river? We prefer this one because it's free from the chemical salts. Chemical salts. Also should be free from the impurities. Impurities, those are the all materials which may just disturb our sand to be used. Even this one is said to be sandy since it is less or equal to 4.75 millimeter of grain. Whether for this level it is all aggregate greater than 4.75 millimeter of grain, as it is shown by sieve analysis. Now, crushed stone also, it is the stone which is already crushed. So both of them, those are types of aggregate to be used within the concrete. Whether for this one, what is it a binder? Those are all materials, binder. All materials we are mixing into this aggregate just to combine them together. Is where we found cement and lime. So this one cement and this lime is the way it is some process of getting this lime. Now the cement, we know the cement is manufactured in two processes. The process cement is manufactured in two processes, by dry process and wet process. Since we are saying the dry process, it isn't any water in that process. Whereas for this wet process, it is the process of manufacturing cement where we are adding amount of water for getting assemblies. Before going to another ingredients, let's discuss a little bit on the aggregate. Also, the aggregate is where we found some requirements, as I have said. The requirements, of course, what is the role of aggregate within the concrete? The aggregate is just providing the desired volume and providing at the same time the hardness of what? Of concrete. To mean that in case concrete is somehow weak, it will just depend on the quality of aggregate you have already used. Now let's go on the water, concrete ingredient. Concrete ingredient, also those are three. Is this one aggregate, as I have said, and also binder, and what? And water. And admixtures. So in this aggregate we have discussed much about, and this bile also, and this water. So let's discuss a little bit on this water. The requirements of good water just should be potable. Should just the water to be used in the concrete should be potable. To mean that for this is not just using the water you want. It's not just using even the water from the road or providing by the rain water. No, we are not allowed to use it. We are allowed to use the water which is potable. For this one, admixtures. What is it an admixtures? Admixtures. Those are chemical substance. Is the chemical substance these are the chemical substance added in the concrete just to improve its quality. Its quality for what? Its quality for what? We are adding this admixtures in the concrete with respect to what we want. Suppose if we want an admixture to remove the void inside the concrete, of course we need n types of admixtures. If you want just to add or to change the color of the concrete, of course there is some admixtures we will use in order such color will be gotten. And let's go on the types of admixtures. The types of admixtures is what we call air and training admixtures. Air and training admixtures. This is the types of admixtures we are using in the concrete, of course, to remove the void inside or to increase the workability of concrete. It is what we call accelerator admixtures. Accelerator admixtures, of course, to accelerate as the name, to accelerate the setting time of concrete. What is it also setting time? Since we are saying setting time, it is the time at which concrete starts losing amount of water inside. Now, rotator admixtures. Rotator admixtures, as it is the name, it is a type of an admixtures to be used in the concrete, of course, to reduce or to delay setting time of concrete. Now, let's go on plasticize. Plasticize admixtures, of course, is increasing. We are adding these types of admixtures, of course, to increase the workability of concrete is what you want. Since, suppose we are in the cold region or cold in the cold region, of course, we need this accelerator admixtures, of course, to increase the setting time of what of concrete. Simple as that. It is many types of admixtures, but these types of admixtures is used in the concrete, of course, for the purpose of increasing the quality of concrete you want. For example, if you want any quality of concrete, if you want just a hardness, if you want just for something like that, is where we are using these admixtures. Why to use admixtures? The reason of using admixtures, as I have said, is increasing of using admixtures first is to improve the quality of concrete. The quality of concrete. Then to accelerate the setting time of concrete. And to change the color of concrete. It's in theory simply is just to improve the quality of concrete. Simple as that. Because since we are improving the quality of concrete, of course those ones are included. You may just change the colors, you may just, with respect to what you want, you add an admixtures or types of an admixtures with respect to what you want. Now, let's go on concrete steps, on concrete properties of concrete. Concrete properties. Let's say the concrete properties is found in two ways. The first way is found in plastic states. And in hardening states. This in the plastic states is where we can see some properties, since the concrete is still in plastic, is still wet, is where is said to be in plastic states. So the concrete property in plastic states is what you call workability. And workability, breeding or breeding, and let's say workability, bleeding, simple as that. It is, of course, it is many. And this in hardening, for example, in stability, durability, strength, and clip, it is many. But let us discuss a little bit on this one. So what is it workability? Since we are saying workability, it is said to be workability of concrete. Since the concrete, the wet concrete, is easy to be used, is easy to use. To mean that it is plastic. To mean it is in a plastic state, simple as that. Then it's said to be bleeding. It is like a default appear at the top of concrete, since the water latents are raising up at the top of concrete. So the cause of this were the effects, or let's say the factor that can affect workability. Factor that can affect workability. The workability may be affected with water cement ratio, the poor mixing. Let's say poor mixing, since the mixing is poor, to mean that it may affect our workability. If you understand why, by definition of workability, it is the ability of concrete which makes it easy to use. Just it is said to be workability by the time when the concrete is easily used, is said to be the concrete is workable. Now, the factors that can affect workability, it is water cement ratio, to mean that the amount of water and cement to make the concrete. Poor mixing, since the mixing is poor, also it may affect our workability. And let's say poor transportation. Poor transportation, since concrete is transported in a poor way, to mean that it will affect our workability in using it. Suppose you are shifting our concrete from this place, for example, to the 50 meters. Of course, by using wheelbarrow, of course, it will affect our workability of concrete. It is main here. Then, let's go on bleeding. What are the cause of bleeding? As in the definition I've said, bleeding, it is like a default of concrete, is normal default of concrete where the water agents are laying up at the top of concrete. Now, let's go on hardening state. It is just the properties you may analyze during the concrete, during the hardening concrete. You can just find out that it is what we call durability. What is it? Durability is the ability of concrete just to take a long design life. Whether for this one, the strength, it is just ability of concrete to resist, to apply the load. It's said to be something is strength enough, since it is resisted to apply the load. Whether for this clip, this one is a deformation. Of concrete, of hardening the concrete, due to the permanent loading. To mean that you may analyze what we call a clip is totally different from the clip we know. We are saying about the clip found in the concrete. It is just a deformation or a deformation found on the concrete due to what? Due to the permanent loading. It's said to be clip. Now, so after analyze this one, let's go to the concrete steps in order to get what we call concrete. The first step is what you call selection of concrete ingredient. Selection of concrete ingredient is the key points just to focus on before. By selecting the concrete ingredients. As the second one is what we call, after selecting, is now batching. What is it, batching? Batching is the process of measuring concrete ingredients. Either we are often using it wheelbarrow at the site, of course, to measure, is what we call batching. Now, the third one is what we call mixing. Of course, to mix what? To mix those concrete ingredients. This batching may be done by volume, This mixing also it should be done mechanically or by machine. Let's say by machine. For a large site, we are using this machine, and by hand. For the small sites, where we are using the labors, of course, to mix. But this one by using machine, it is many advantages for using this machine. Such as, of course, increasing productivity of the site and just mixing constantly. But for this one by using hand, it has some defaults where the concrete may not be mixed constantly, and you may mix at this time as well as it is expected. For the next steps, you mix differently from previous one, something like that. Then the fourth is what we call, after mixing, is what we call transportation. Since in case we are transporting concrete is just removing the concrete from the batch space or batch plant to the user place where the concrete should be used, is what we call transportation. It is an action of removing your wet concrete to the place where it should be used, is what we call transportation. So this transportation, it may be done also by truck mixer, or by hand. This one by using truck mixer is where we are transporting the concrete for the large site, removing from the batch plant to the place where the concrete is going to be used by using this big truck mixer, rotating truck mixer, just mixing it during transporting it. And by using hand, of course, is removing by using labors at the site. Now, also it is defaults of transporting concrete by using hand or by using what? Or by using truck mixer. Transporting the concrete by using hand, of course, it tends to be vibrated during the transportation by using wheelbarrow or by using the pans of labors. it tends, of course, to appear what we call a segregation. As it is segregation, it is a separation of the concrete ingredients from where fine aggregate is from the coarse aggregate. It is a separation of fine aggregate from coarse aggregate. Is what we call segregation. The separation of coarse aggregate and fine aggregate is what we call segregation. Now, this effect of hand transportation segregation and what we call bleeding. Now, I have discussed much about segregation and bleeding. Now, those are the defects may occur during the transportation by using hand. Whether for this truck mixer, of course, it transports the concrete by just mixing it during the transportation process. For example, this truck mixer, it rotates during the transportation to mean that it is still mixing it during the transportation to prevent what we call this segregation. Now, after transporting it is what we call handling and placing. And placing or pulling. This one, handling and placing is what we call, is just taking the concrete, the wet concrete, and you put it at the place where it is going to be put or going to be placed, is what we call handling and placing. So it is here a notice to be respected during handling and placing. Handling and placing, it should not exceed at the height of 1 meter. It is believed it is not allowed to pull the concrete more than 1 meter height. It means that it is not allowed, of course, to put the concrete at the height which is more than 1 meter. It is not allowed because, of course, it may cause those two defects found on the fresh concrete. Now, this after handling and placing, it is what we call after handling and placing is what we call compaction. What is it, compaction? It is the process, of course, of removing the air inside the concrete or removing the voids in the concrete. is the process of removing the void in the concrete. Of course, this compaction may be done also by vibrator, or by hand. This by using vibrator is where we are using what we call a poker vibrator. For this hand, it is an arrangement done at the site by using different components, different things, just of course to vibrate. Vibrating this by using hand, it is compaction by using man-made, not by machine. Simple as that. Now, let's go on. Or after compaction is what we call curing. Curing. It is the process of maintaining. This curing means is the process of maintaining internal moisture of concrete. Is the process of maintaining internal moisture of concrete to prevent rapid hardening of concrete. Yeah, simple as that. Why do we do this curing? It is the process of maintaining internal moisture of concrete by preventing rapid hardening. You know, since things is dry rapidly, of course the cracks will appear. It is for that reason it is better to cure our concrete, of course, to get the concrete which is effective. Now, after curing this one, there is method of curing. Is what we call poly. The second one is splaying. Spraying the water, of course. Spraying the water, it is many. This ponding, it is just stagnating amount of water at the floor. Where for this one, spraying is just spraying or splitting amount of water at the surface, at the given surface. Is what we call spraying the water. It is another one, or the third, called, of course, to provide a wet drain bags. Providing a wet drain bag. Or spray. This, it is just taking the wet clothes and surrounding at the collar is what we call providing great drain bag on the structure. So why do we make the curing? We are making the curing, of course, to maintain the internal moisture, to prevent rapid hardening of rapid hardening on the structure, rapid hardening which may tends of course to collapse our structure. Now let's go to our intended. After making concrete, let's go to what we call a formwork. Formwork. Now, what is it, a formwork? Formwork, of course, it is a mold. Designed to hold the flesh concrete, the flesh or wet concrete, the flesh or wet concrete, of course, to provide the desired shape is what we call formwork. It is as definition, it is a mold in any material designed to hold the flesh or wet concrete in order to provide the desired shape of that concrete. Now, after this, let's go on the requirement of wood formwork. Requirement of wood formwork. Requirements of wood formwork. Requirement of wood formwork. A good formwork, of course, should be cheap and durable. Should be cheap and durable. Cheap, durable for what? To be reused. To be used. To mean that to use it more than one time. Then it should be practically waterproof. It should be practically waterproof, to mean that to resist against water. Then also it should be strong enough to withstand to all loads to be applied on it. Strong enough. It should be strong enough. It should be strong enough, of course, to withstand to a given load applied on it. Now, let's go on types of formwork. Types of formwork. The formwork should be classified in different way. It should be classified according to the structure it is going to be used, such as stair formwork, stair formwork, slab formwork, slab formwork, then beam formwork, and column formwork, it is, to me, you may just describe or identify the types of formwork with respect to what we are going to use. It is another way of classifying types of formwork with respect to the material. According to the material. To the material is where we can see wooden formwork, steel formwork, and plastic formwork. Steel formwork. So, thank you for your kind attention. Next time we will discuss there, we will compare those two, steel formwork, plastic formwork, and wooden formwork. Which is more beautiful than others, which is more adequate than others. We will see more about formwork and how to assemble them, about this column formwork is what we will see next time. My thanks goes along to those who are watching this session. Thank you very much.
Mubyeyi urifuza guteganyiriza umwana wawe ejo heza, gana mu mashuri ya apejerwa ariyo Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI hamwe na Emeru Intwari. Muri Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI tubafitiye amashami akurikira: Culinary Art cyangwa se ibijyanye n'ubutetsi, hari level 1, level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Food and Beverage Services tubafitiye level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Tubafitiye kandi Accounting cyangwa se ibaruramari level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Tubafitiye n'ubukanishi bw'amamodoka mu byiciro bikurikira: Auto Engine Technology level 3, Auto Transmission and Control System Technology level 4, Automobile Transmission and Control System Technology level 5. Tubafitiye n'ubwubatsi Masonry level ya 3, level ya 4 ndetse na level ya 5. Tubafitiye Tourism ubukerarugendo level ya 3, iya 4 ndetse n'iya 5. Turabibutsa ko tubafitiye n'icyiciro rusange Tonkome. Naho muri Emeru Intwari tubafitiye amashami y'umwaka umwe akurikira: Automotive Technology ubukanishi bw'amamodoka level ya mbere, Hairdressing ubwiza no gutunganya umusatsi level ya mbere, Tailoring ubudozi level ya mbere, Masonry ubwubatsi level ya mbere. Muri aya mashuri yombi tubafitiye abarimu b'inzobere harimo n'abaturuka hanze y'igihugu. Tubafitiye kandi n'amacumbi y'abakobwa ndetse n'ay'abahungu. Abanyeshuri bacu bakora ingendo shuri mu gihugu ndetse no hanze yacyo. Tubaha umwanya wo kwimenyereza umwuga mu bigo bijyanye n'ibyo biga. Dukorera kandi graduation abanyeshuri basoje amasomo yabo. Aya mashuri aherereye mu mujyi wa Ruhango hafi ya gare. Ku bindi bisobanuro mwaduhamagara kuri 0788362219 cyangwa se 0722356668. Mwanaduhamagara kandi kuri 0788362213 cyangwa se 0788202282. Mwanadusura kuri website y'ishuri www.apejerwa.ac.rw. Umurimo ukozwe neza utuma batugirira icyizere.